when you ask Kyle Shanahan what's up with the offense, one thing he likes to point to, he'll never say big picture stuff, but he keeps going to, well, we're getting in the red zone. We got in the red zone in this game a lot of times, but we didn't score that much. And if you look at the red zone numbers, they're not as good in the red zone this year as they were last year with the same freaking players. So, Jose, we're both quality control. What would you suggest Kyle Shanahan do in the red zone to score more touchdowns?
You know what? I'd say do the same thing and try to go back to your passing offense. Like, honestly, like going back to the red zone. And I think so obviously in the press box, but on Sunday Night Football, I think also they even showed a little bit of the RPO replays as well that the all 22 49ers community likes to point out. And it was just like, dude, are you just going to keep running the same play RPO? And then that's when he mentions on the conference call, Kyle, where he's like, we had a play that I don't feel like we should have given it to the check down or whatever. And it's like, you know what? Maybe stop putting too much on Jimmy's plate and just have him do a drop back, 1-2 stop, drop back, and just throw it. I know he had the one throw to Ayuk, but again, this has been a problem all season long. All right, it's not just this game. So when people are harping about and overreacting, quote unquote, to the red zone offense, it's like, no, we're not overreacting to something that's been going on for 9 games. The red zone offense is just lacking. Like, can we get can we just take a shot with Jimmy? Can Jimmy just do something? Can we get a crosser? Can we get Kittle in there? Ayuk, who I feel like is the best red zone threat, should be more utilized in that sense. That shouldn't have been the first time we've seen that with him having like a shifty route and just creating space, because he could do that at will. We saw that against the Rams at home when he shook Jalen Ramsey on the whip route. So we already know Ayuk's that lock. But how about just getting just simple plays, making it simplified just so we can get some points on the board, because you're wasting all these yards. Like, no one cares about your yards. How many points are you putting on the board? Because you know what, Grant? I actually went back and looked at the points scored. If you take away the 2 highest games they had points against, so one was a bleeding out Carolina team, right? And then the second game against the Rams, do or die, and they always play well against the Rams. You take those 2 games away, they're averaging 18.5 points per game. They're averaging 18.5 points per game against, if you take away the bleeding out Carolina game and a desperation Rams game. And if you want to go further against both Rams, they're averaging 17.6. So pretty much give or take a point.
Also, you take away some of these special teams touchdowns and pick sixes, like, it's even worse. Because they had the pick six from Talanoa, the pick six from Mosley.
Take away that away. You're right.
They had the pick six from Talanoa, the pick six from Mosley. Like, they had, I think they have at least one special teams touchdown. So it gets bad. Real quick, let me give you a little stat, all right? So we're talking red zone. Jimmy Garoppolo in the red zone this year, his quarterback rating is 100. He has 9 touchdown passes and 1 pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's actually doing pretty well. But in the red zone, the Niners this year have run 52 times. Excuse me. Let me get this right. Attempts 52 times, and they've passed 34 times. So again, this is Kyle Shanahan and he wants to run the ball. They need to pass the ball. When they pass the ball, good things happen this year. But he's getting into the red zone, and he's running between the tackles with Christian McCaffrey. It's like, dude, that's the worst idea. There's so many things you could do. There are 10 things you could do better than that. You could throw to Christian McCaffrey. You could throw to Kittle. You could hand off to Debo. But no, you want to do the worst thing you could do. So it's a lot on Kyle, how he's using his players. Like, you're running too much. And look, here's another thing. I don't think Kyle likes Jimmy getting credit. Jimmy's going to be in a contract year. I don't think he wants Jimmy Garoppolo getting 3 tutties in a game. You can run for a quarterback sneak, but I think he wants the touchdowns going to Christian McCaffrey on the ground. Meanwhile, you got Mike McDaniel being like, hey, man, you got 3 touchdowns. You're great. Tua, you're the best. You got 3 touchdowns today. I don't think Kyle wants Jimmy getting credit like that. If they score on the ground, Kyle gets the credit. If they score through the air, Jimmy gets a lot of credit. And that's where Kyle's mind is, I think. So Kyle needs to get over himself and let Jimmy get some credit.
You got a point on that, because even when he had the sweet rollout throw of the game to Raymond McLeod, he kind of dumbed that down. I was like, dude, that was sweet. That's uncharacteristic of him.
It's like the best play of Jimmy Garoppolo's career. It was like the best play of his career.
For sure.
Oh my God.
That deserved more than just he's trying to say he's been doing that all year. No, he hasn't.
Dude, if Mike McDaniel were the coach of this team, he would have talked about that play for 10 minutes. He would have written an entire 1-act play about that. It would have been crazy. But no, Kyle's like, it was whatever. It was all right. It was all right. I could have made that throw. Do you see that throw I made in the pizza oven? Because that was a nice throw. The pizza oven throw.
Yeah, that was pretty dope. But no, that whole drive was all because of Jimmy to me. That was all Jimmy. The 3rd and 12, or what? I don't even. What's that 3rd and 12 to George? Yeah, to George. That whole drive, because every run play was like stalled, and then Jimmy was just connecting.
Kyle, so he's like, well, why didn't you score more points? Well, we got inside the 10-yard line. We only scored touchdowns. We got inside the 10-yard line 5 times. We only scored 2 touchdowns. We got to execute better. Well, maybe if you every time you got to the 9-yard line, you try to run your way through a brick wall into the. It's too hard, and you don't have the offensive line to pull it off. You don't have Mike Upati and Anthony Davis like back in the day. That's what he wants to do, and so it's on him. All I remember is Jimmy Garoppolo making a play, throwing that beautiful touchdown pass to Christian McCaffrey. Like, he can't. You're not allowed. He made the great throw to Ayuk that Ayuk dropped. Man, he's not going to drop 2 of those. Throw
it again. Do it again.
Do it again. Do it again. Zach says, what makes Trent the best? Don't disagree. Just want your take. I mean, he's been doing it for a long time. I don't think he's the best anymore, but he was the best for a very long time. He's about 35 years old. I don't know. I don't think he's the best anymore.
He's still top tier.
Yeah. Justin, because I mean, they run the ball well to their left. I got to give him that. He's still good. He just could be a lot better. Justin Gonzalez says, Spreadsheet asked T-Dub, there are no problems with Williams' stance. He's been operating the same way through his whole career, 9 Pro Bowls and counting. Okay.
Oh, ask Trent Williams.
All right. So now we have a bunch of people aren't on Trent Williams' payroll going out of their way to defend sloppy play. That's my favorite thing about Bay Area sports media. Love that. Love that. Corey Soto says, I think Ramsey dropping 2 picks is the greatest gift to Jimmy and the Niners. Would the Niners have won if he caught those? Changes a lot. It's a good question. Also, would the Niners have won against the Chargers if Samuel Womack had been called for a touchback on that play? Not saying he should have, but on TV, they were losing their mind about that.
Yeah, they were losing their mind about that.
They were losing their mind about that on TV.
You know, I don't remember that play, but too much. Like, I don't think I was too much in focus of that because, you know, special teams, special teams.
Right.
Come on.
But it's when they stopped the Chargers at the 1-yard line. Like, they couldn't make a comeback at that point.
They're saying the Chargers got hosed. But it's like, you know what? So did the Niners on the Dre Greenlaw play.
Ooh. I don't know about that. I think the big missed call on that for the Niners in that game was two things. Debo face mask. That was a clear face mask. Clear face mask.
Right? And the false start every snap.
The false start every snap by the right tackle.
Are you blind? I was screaming on the TV. Like, are you stupid? Like, what are you doing?
The Greenlaw one, I don't know. But the other two,
no.
I don't want to argue about the Greenlaw one. But that's borderline. That was at least you could say that was borderline. But look, I want to talk about what?
Wait, what are you talking about? The false
Greenlaw
start?
was at least. When they slowed it down, it looked like he I don't know.
That was a penalty. I just didn't agree with the ejection, which I didn't even know you could get ejected for that. I thought I was like, what are you doing?
It was like a targeting call, right? Yeah.
What do you? Moving target? He's that good?
Ref blew the whistle. Fair enough. All I'm saying is that play of pinning the Chargers at the 1-yard line, that ended the game. Maybe the game would have been over if they had gotten the ball at the 20 because they weren't moving the ball at all in the second half. But Herbert's really good. He made some amazing throws to nobodies in that game. Maybe he had a couple more left in him, but from the 1-yard line, there's no chance.
And I'll say this: the Niners also red zone offense. We're talking about how's like Shanahan's like, oh, you know, we just messed up, so we kind of gifted them. You're like, you know what? The Chargers messed up and gave the defense lucky breaks in the first half. Justin missed several throws that could have gone for chunk plays or even a touchdown. What was that one he threw?
Number 88, alligator arm to pass down the field that should have been a touchdown.
Yeah, and then
Trey McKitty.
Gerald Everett at the 10-yard line or 5-yard line had a drop that could have been a walk-in touchdown. So there were several opportunities for the Chargers to convert and to change one of those field goals into a touchdown to make more pressure on the 49ers offense, which guess what? Now that you're in a tie game or you're trailing, you're more predictable passing. So Kyle, the only time he passes heavily is when he's trailing. And at that point, great. Now you're putting Jimmy in a very tough.
That's not one you want to. What you want to do is pass early and then ice it out with the run game.
That's what
but
I'm saying.
Kyle's. That's what you want to do,
man. Throw on those first downs. Maybe when it's like when you're on like the 13-yard line, take a shot to the end zone. Do it. But I'm wondering if he's scarred from that Chiefs game because I'm pretty sure he wanted that one because when he threw that pick, which was egregious, I agree. But it's like, so you're just gonna.
It's the one pick he's thrown in the red zone all year. It's the only pick he's thrown in the red zone all year. Like, you got to stop coaching scared, Kyle. McDaniel doesn't. Because it trickles down to your players.